Live from tape, pre-recorded at our studios in Austin, Texas and Portland, Oregon, it's Syndicated with Leslie and Ben. Hey everyone, I'm the Ben of that.
And I'm the Leslie. This is a twice-monthly podcast about television, genre, and storytelling, in which we watch an episode of a show and explore the history of television, one episode at a time.
Who's our guest today, Leslie?
Our guest today is Héctor Gonzalez, the sexiest and best-smelling guest that we've ever had on our show.
You see perhaps why I was hesitant to say that. Hi Hector, how are you doing?
Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Leslie, for having me over. I was not expecting that introduction, and it may be a little bit biased.
No, it's an objective fact. I've smelled all of our guests, and you smell the best.
Well, thank you very much. I'm honored to receive that. Do I get a statue, or can I put that on my LinkedIn?
Yeah, I have them all on an Excel spreadsheet rated in smells and sexiness from 1 to 10, and so objectively, you're the sexiest one and the best smelling.
Well,
yeah, I'll endorse you on LinkedIn for that.
That's perfect. What else do I need in life? I mean, I think I can quit my job today.
Yeah, well, if you need a reference for that. If you're just now joining us, we're talking about Home Movies, the 4-season Adult Swim animated show that ran from 1989 to 2004. The show initially aired on UPN for only 5 episodes before being canceled. It was quickly repurchased by Cartoon Network, where it ran on Adult Swim for the remainder of its run.
Yeah, the show is animated in a charming but limited animation style in Macromedia Flash Player, which relies on a lot of recycled character animations and lower frame rates. Characters generally have very limited body movement, but make up for it with facial animation and the incredible ad-lib work of the voice acting team. The show deploys the Curb Your Enthusiasm method of comedy script writing, where the script is merely an outline suggestion and the cast just goes nuts.
Yeah, two points right up here at the very start, talking about the fact that it was canceled on UPN.
Yeah.
It with the exception of like Castlevania, did that not happen to every show we've talked about?
It's happened to a lot of them.
Archer didn't. But
yeah.
Like, what is it about like adult animated properties where people are like, let's give this a very limited chance?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know. You would think that they would just not do it at all if they were going to have that little faith in it, but yet this stuff keeps popping up.
I think you're missing the point. UPN, it's Adult Swim's workshopping area. They just pretty much launch things on UPN, and then Adult Swim goes like, hey, I think we can adopt this thing. Yeah, cancel it after 3 or 4, and we'll take it to our pool.
That seems so risky.
Don't know if I realized that. Oh wait, isn't UPN half of the? Isn't that what became CW?
Correct.
Yes.
Oh, that's right. It's the United Paramount Network and the WB became CW. Yes,
Correct.
no, that makes much more sense.
Yeah. I know that we have opinions about the Macromedia Flash method of animation, or at least I know for a fact that Hector does, so I'd love to hear more about that.
Yeah, I mean, off the bat, I think it's cute.
I thought that, okay, first than anything, I've been consuming animation since I was a child, and we receive all these kind of fantastic Japanese animes as well as American cartoons, and that was one of the best upbringings that I can testify about. And I just love that kind of free flow that they had, but especially using at that moment Macromedia Flash was revelatory, because it was a software that I was initially using for the websites, and then somebody just comes up and creates this amazingly interesting and in many cases very snappy and smart comedy. And I thought, oh, okay, this is something else that it can be used for. And I was very excited about it. It was kind of just telling you, hey, do you see that piece of wood that it is on the back? It can be a skateboard. I think that you could learn how to skateboard with that. How about that?
Right. It really, it kind of really goes to show off like the versatility of like early internet.
Yeah.
How people like just like took these tools and ran with them for purposes that they were not hypothetically initially intended for. Typing in the words Macromedia Flash Player for this script brought back a flashback that hit me like a train. Because I have not thought about Macromedia Flash Player in a while, and I used to think about it constantly. Because I am a child of the Newgrounds era.
Oh yes,
Yes.
I was just gonna say I was thinking about Macromedia Flash Player a few days ago because I used to play a suite of games that were Flash games on a site called Original, and they were these super adorable little cute games that had gorgeous game art, and they were very fun and very calming, and they don't exist anymore, and that's sad.
Hey, I'll just mention Neopets and Macromedia Flash were just the perfect pairing if you ever played Neopets or follow along. That was one of those moments that kind of defined you, trying to locate this kind of very Pokemon influenced website, and then you say, oh, I do not need to have a Game Boy to do this. Oh, and I also can be participating with a community, global community about this. Oh, sign me up. And that was the beauty of the technology at that moment, that it had so many open options. I remember also seeing other creators making their own animations that were completely absurd. One that I particularly have on the top of my head, it was called Space Tree. And it was just a tree that was going on space and adventures. And the comedy was very ridiculous, but at the same time, the voice acting was the one doing most of the lifting. And that's the beauty about most of these things. If we think a little bit also about anime, a lot of scenes is just long pans on just the character moving their mouth a little bit. The script, the voice, the intention, that's the one that it is making the whole story. And it's the beauty about how it's this mix of, you have the video, then you have the great writing, and then you have someone that gives birth to these characters and make them feel lived in. That's beautiful. And that brings me to how the characters, each one of the characters on home movies, they all are very believable, because we have seen these people. The coach particularly, I mean, to me it just made me laugh out loud, because I had a coach that was a little bit like that in when I was growing up in Mexico. And I mean, he was not like buff and everything. He was short and but very ripped, and we all call him, I don't know what was the name of the Smurf that was all bulked up in, I don't remember, but in Spanish it was Pitufo Fortachón. I don't remember what was the name in English, but that was his nickname, and he hated it. But he was that kind of guy, the same one that was like, hey, so your mom is single? It's like, no.
Yo, I can't imagine why he wouldn't want to be compared to a Smurf.
Not at all.
Why not? Did you know the Smurfs Wikipedia page does not quickly list the Smurfs in a way that I can quickly check? I was really kind of hoping it would.
We'll get our editor, especially on that.
I'm the...
Yeah,
okay.
Ben's the editor.
What you were saying a little bit earlier, the limited animation style like really adds to the charm.
Yeah.
You know, like when people make anime parodies specifically, you know, even up until today, they make sure to kind of parody that thing where like a character's face is kind of like moving at a diagonal toward the background, as like a background is like just a very nondescript background is like whooshing behind them, and they're just like in close up just talking like, no, he can't do that, that would be impossible to do, you know. And like, you know, that is like the kind of like what is revealed to us later to be a very low budget move to pad for time. Like, can you do like a really basic shot where we just focus on the character's face and there's like almost no background or whatever, and can you make it last 30 seconds so we can pad this episode? Like, that's a very low budget technique that like resonates with us like decades later and adds like a lot of charm to that.
And it's a very common technique also in American animation. I remember watching one that they only animated the voices, the mouths, and it was not even animation. They just did like a cut of the actors' mouths. I think it was like Dutch Cargo, something like that. And I don't know why, but every time they were in the eyes, I was like, do they have any other settings? And well, He-Man also. I mean, all those, I think Amblin early animations, all the thing that the same running sequence, the same jump, and you never saw each hitting each other. Because I mean, I don't know. I think that there were some politics about it, like they don't need to be aggressive, but just insinuate that somebody's getting hit or something like that.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's the whole thing of like, we can't actually show violence. This is for 8-year-olds,
right?
Thing. But yeah. No, you're right in that those Mattel series used to have them as well. And I don't know. I think it's cute.
I also really appreciate that this show, even though it is a television show, because of the double hit of improv and flash animation, harkens back to like classic old internet in a way. Watching it felt very much like experiencing those Newgrounds and other flash sites. It was a great time. That's what I'll say.
God, I spent so much time on those forums.
Yeah. We all did.
When Matrix 4 came out, I realized how much like I had watched like the Matrix Has You like animated special from like 2004 or whatever, which was like a big collaboration of like a bunch of Flash artists on Newground or whatever. But like all of a sudden, like all those jokes just came rushing back to me. In the middle of the night while I was trying to sleep.
Yeah.
I just like it is genuinely like looking back into Flash Player just like unlocked like, oh yeah, I was alive from 2002 to 2004. Wild. I forgot. Anyway, God, just I love the quirks of it. And obviously we've been talking about this, its applications in other media, but in this one, like, characters, like, bodies don't move a ton. I'm thinking very specifically, Paula in the very beginning is, like, she's on the phone, and she's almost a completely still character model, except for her mouth. But, like, she's standing there, she's on the phone, and she's, like, scrubbing, like, a plate or whatever, and it's literally just hand movement. Like, and I mean literally just hand movement, like, not the arm. Like the only part of that character model that's moving is literally from the wrist down and the mouth or whatever. And there's whole like the conversation between those two characters on the bleachers later where like truly it might as well be a still shot and the only thing that's moving are mouths. And then it cuts to what I presume is recycled or will be recycled since this is the pilot footage of like kids just running across the soccer field or whatever. Like that's the B-roll footage, and then like the only original movement is just mouth movement. And like that's like all it needs to be. It conveys exactly what it needs to do. I'm not begrudging it in the slightest.
Sure.
And it's the beauty of this kind of simple animation that I think that it is wonderful how, I mean, you see it these days that you just need to use maybe 2 or 3 reactions and can tell a story. And we see that on how the media is evolving these days. You see it in Reels, you see it in TikTok, just 2 or 3 things and it catches you. And that's a fantastic kind of use of creativity. I just enjoy that. I just love that kind of bare bones that, I mean, I have so many memories of just seeing some people just going out and then just thinking of the coach just putting over that terrible shirt for the date, and it's just like, oh god,
it's a seersucker suit. Yeah, but is it in season? Fuck, that was a good joke. The show follows the adventures of hyperactive creative Brendan Smalls, a small 8-year-old child who likes to make home movies off of his family's 1990s tape camcorder. he deals with all the normal anxieties of a kid his age growing up with a divorced parent and living in suburbia, and uses his parody films to express himself and his age-inappropriate humor. I loved when they showed the movie, and also its sequel, I guess.
Yeah.
And how it was not just amateurish in the fact that it was, like a upside down shopping cart.
Right.
And, had the plot of the worst spin-off of Heat imaginable. Lethal Weapon, I guess. Not even Heat. Heat's too good to be compared to that.
Sure.
I mean, now I'm thinking what would be a good sequel to Heat. Heat 2. Too hot to handle.
Heat 2. Oh, well, wait, no, you can't even have both actors back, because one of them dies at the end. Never mind. I should rewatch Heat.
Well, they have children. All of them just continue having lives, but everybody at one moment had children. The children of the cop, the children of the robber, and then they change paths. The robber becomes a cop, the cops becomes a robber, and there you have it.
Natalie Portman's out for revenge.
Oh, was she the cop's daughter? Oh, that would be good.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
An extremely young Natalie Portman was.
Oh.
Yep.
Somebody call Natalie. I think I have a pitch for her.
Oh my gosh. All right.
I love how amateurish like the editing was. That it's so clearly taped off of a camcorder.
Yeah.
That he's absolutely doing the thing. I used to make I used to make home movies. Like I was both the family documentarian. Hell yeah. The family documentarian, as well as like in high school I used to like dabble with the same kind of stuff, and like before we moved to digital, I learned how to use tape with like a firewire cable connected to a TV and everything, or inputting footage from a tape that I had to manually splice, and all that. But I love how like the editing is, when he shows the videos, like things are cut off in a way as if he had done a take, yelled cut, rewound over the cut, and then kept playing, which is why when they show those trailers, some of them like, in a war, and that's why you gotta, so many wires. Like there's just like so many, like the end of each clip is like cut off because of course that's how you have to do it.
Right.
And he doesn't have a computer or editing software, so he's just playing it straight off the camcorder. And
Yeah.
I thought that was charming as hell.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
I mean, that kind of roughing it, I mean, that's interesting. And we have to admit that as a child having a camcorder was like a big deal.
Oh, it was so fun.
But when I was growing up in Mexico, I mean, not everybody had that kind of equipment. The first movie that I made, and that was with a friend from high school, it was mostly because their parents had money and they had the equipment, and they had friends that also said like, hey, why don't we make a movie that it is pretty much Predator in Mexico, but it's aliens hunting them. How does that sound? And the main character is Mexican. I said like, so is the Predator Mexican? I do not get it, but we still made it, and didn't make sense. Have a lot of fun filming it and show it to everyone. And yeah, we didn't get that reception of everyone saying like, oh, this could, I mean, that should be going to the Oscars. Right. No, they were merciless, saying like, I didn't get anything, or just saying the fights were terrible.
You can't tell high schoolers that. It'll quash their it'll quash their confidence.
Yeah.
In high school, I used to make like Pink Panther, like kind of detective movies.
I used to make movies with my Barbies, like
Hell yeah!
I would make movies with my Barbies, and I made them like I did a Barbie send-up of Narnia, of Lion the Witch and the Wardrobe, and other delights. So that was something I did, and I was like a teenager. I think I was like 14. Yeah. My dad had one of those fancy cameras that like would change like tones, like from color to sepia tone or whatever. And I used to make, and I did, we used to do music videos as well. I did one for like Fat Bottom Girls and Bicycle Race by Queen.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Yeah.
With the Barbies or?
No, with me.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're all familiar with how this works then.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. I'm not gonna say the universal teenage experience, but like close, at least for this group.
Yeah, at least for this crowd.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, no, I think when my parents moved, my dad was like, "Do you need all these like DVX 8 tapes still?" I'm like, "No, I really do not."
See, I would have said yes.
Thank you for asking, but those are 20 years antiquated.
I feel like I would have still said yes.
I
You
mean,
can find things. It's the internet. You can find devices and stuff to play
true.
things off of. But now those memories are gone forever. Good job, Ben.
I mean,
Oh.
at what moment somebody found those cassettes, and some kind of digital archaeologist is trying to find who is this Ben person in these tapes? What is his motivation? What's happening here? I mean, you will be somebody's movie project in the future.
Yeah, way to go.
Yeah. Oh God, the documentary about me. Hey,
That's
why was
sad.
he not discovered earlier? Well,
Oh.
oh, it's because it wasn't any good. But thank you for thinking of it.
Oh boy. Oh.
All right,
boy.
Leslie, go nuts.
All right, let's talk about it. Let's talk about some of this voice cast. Brendan Small is voiced by Brendan Small, the co-creator of the show. Brendan is an auteur and amateur filmmaker who makes parodies of genre films in his mom's basement with the help of his friends and whatever props he has available. Small is a voice actor on plenty of other projects, including a voice actor on Venture Brothers. Brendan Small also is the co-creator of Metalocalypse, which maybe we should also talk about at some point.
Co-creator and I believe chief musical artist behind.
Oh.
Yeah. The show is a co-creation between Brendan Small and Lauren Bouchard. Bouchard, whose name will come up shortly, but is the creator of, among other things, Bob's Burgers.
Correct.
Paula Small, Brendan's mother, is played by comedian Paula Poundstone in this episode anyway. Poundstone left the show after the show ended its UPN run. Paula is a single mom who takes care of Brendan and his baby sister after the family's recent divorce. If you don't know who Paula Poundstone is at all, I don't know how to help you with that.
Yeah, she's just just being a terrible word to use, but she is a stand-up comedian and has not really done a lot of television work from what we've been able to tell.
She has a lot of like 1-2 episode runs
Right.
or like cameos or whatever, but yeah, like I was fully expecting her to like,
Have been an actress.
you know, as with a lot of people who did comedy in the 90s, I was expecting like the 1-season run on you know, expected her to like, you know, be the matriarch of like a Goldbergs kind of show or something.
Sure, but no, not at all.
And no.
Not at all.
But hey, I know she had a podcast for a long while. Might still have that podcast.
Did she? What was it about?
Oh, it was literally just her. Like it was a name brand show.
Oh, fun.
Oh, I found
It
it.
was like you know.
Nobody listens to Paula Poundstone. I just
That's
Google her name, and the first hit, well, one of the first hits, you're one of those people also ask, what happened to Paula Poundstone? It was a June 28th of 2001 report when she got arrested. I said, like, wow, not a lot of recent news then about her.
Yeah, I guess not.
But yeah, I mean, I think that her podcast is what she's talking, where she's doing. Oh, she's also touring. Her
Okay,
next date
okay.
is in
Oh, yeah,
Durango,
look at that.
Colorado. Look at that.
So if you're listening from Durango, Colorado, you can go see Paula Poundstone soon if you'd like.
Yeah, quick, buy a ticket tonight.
All right.
Wait, don't tell me. Yeah, she's on the Maximum Fun Network. She's a character.
Okay.
Okay. Very cool. Very, very cool. So, yeah, I'm going to do it.
Sure.
H. John Benjamin plays Coach McGurk, a loser elementary school soccer coach with whom Brendan has a playfully antagonistic relationship. H. John Benjamin would later go on to be cast in Lauren Bouchard's later sitcom Bob's Burgers as Bob Belcher and, of course, as Archer in Archer, which we covered last episode. We're just going to go from this point on, the new genre for this season is stuff H. John Benjamin is in.
I mean,
The Benjamin
we covered
multiverse.
a lot of bases.
Yeah, the H. John Benjamin extended cinematic universe. That's what this podcast is going to become.
Well,
Yeah.
at one moment, I think that didn't Archer did a bit where Archer is hiding on Bob's Burger location, and all the
Yes.
voice actors from both series were there. I mean, now they need to do one where they appear on the Home Movies universe. I mean, that's the next part.
Yeah, it was their season 4 opener.
Yeah.
Was that Archer was hiding,
Right.
like amnesiac and hiding in the Bob's Burgers world.
Correct. It was pretty great. Yeah, that makes me wonder what it would look like if they retooled this show now. You know, if they did one of those things that we love talking about and love more when they do, which is when they reboot old stuff, because we don't have Flash Player anymore.
Right. How would they still manage to replicate that?
Yeah, like I feel like it's a lightning in a bottle situation. This show is a bit.
Yeah. I mean, we talked during our Futurama episode about like art is of its time, and this is the most of its time art we've covered.
Oh my gosh, yes. This is a capsule of a very specific very specific epoch in time. It's very short,
Yeah.
it's very specific, and I love that.
1999 through 2004, which means this is the most 2000s thing to exist.
Yes, correct.
Like 2000 on the dot thing to exist.
Correct.
Or at least that we've covered on this show. Last but not least, the episode that we watched today is episode 1. That's right, the pilot, Get Away From My Mom. The recently divorced Paula Small, Brendan's mother, goes on a date with his soccer coach, Coach McGurk. While the date is a disaster and Paula has no interest in continuing to see Coach McGurk, their brief encounter leads to all sorts of anxiety for Brendan as he tries to fathom his mom dating.
Well,
Kids.
So, Héctor, I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
It's actually 2 questions. The first question is, obviously it was your choice as to what we were going to watch today. Why did you choose home movies, and why did you choose this episode?
So why home movies? To me, it was, well, going a little bit back in time, I saw the first night that they decided to start with the Adult Swim lineup. I remember that it was a series of animations that were bizarre, ridiculous, and absurd. I remember it was the Bragg Show that, I mean, having grown up with Space Ghost,
yeah.
not the Space Ghost Coast to Coast, but the original animation, it was very bizarre. Then also seeing, I mean, Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, that it was also ridiculous in the premise. But if I remember correctly, Home Movies was the first one on that it was on the whole blog that it was. Also there was C-Lab 2021 that was another really great animation for its time. Again, didn't age well, but it's ridiculous and I thought that was the one that caught me the most because I was used to seeing all these very elegant animations, and I see how rough it is, but the characters, it's very believable, the whole situation, and the interactions. You can see that they are having fun just riffing off each other when the coach goes to pick up Paula, and then Brendan goes saying like, "Oh, are you gonna be my dad? Oh, okay." Just that kind of playfulness of the kid trying to find someone that does that kind of stuff. It's a perfect way to just get introduced to it and enjoying the kind of things that happens later. I mean, I hope that somebody gives this series a try because it continues growing and growing. There are certain revelations at one moment that gets introduced, and there are a lot of emotional points on the whole thing. They explore a lot how the movies are also kind of a way. I mean, it's clearly a way for Brandon to express himself, but it's also kind of the way that he tries to communicate with the other people around him, trying to tell me, hey, I'm having these kind of emotions going, and this is the best way that I can express them. This is the perfect way for me to communicate this on a way that I think it's safe. So that's the other part that I think there was a part of me that saw how his creativity, that childhood wonder about movies, about trying to make something that it's remarkable, that people will admire you about it, how he also was sharing so much of what was going in his life that we could see it as comedy, but it's a beautiful, beautiful story about a kid growing up and creating stories that makes him feel that people will like him.
Yeah.
That is like the most honest, deep answer I think that we have ever gotten to that question.
Yeah. I like Castlevania because they kill a lot of vampires. And that's neat.
Also, the vampire is hot, so there is.
Well,
Yeah, the vampire's kind of hard.
The vampire's very hot.
No, I like that. I like that. That's really sweet. Obviously, I mean, we're all creators here.
Mhm.
We're all artists here. Like, I mean, I think that's something we can all latch on to. I think that's really sweet.
And the home movies, I mean, the series it's titled that, but there are such in some ways kind of a throwaway joke on some elements, but in this one gives you a first taste of how he does things. And coming back to the idea that how would they redo it if somehow they decided to redo it, it would be fascinating that it was kind of a live action series but using still the old technology. That's the thing that would be the part that would be amusing, and using that kind of media to capture, and using also, imagine that you see a show that it's using again that 3:4 ratio on the screen, and you're a little bit like, oh, okay, what's happening? It's kind of giving you also a different kind of taste on the format to how things were, kind of a way to transport you on, oh, this is how it was before, without using sepia tones or just kind of not only the
right.
not only using the clothing or all the furniture, but also as how things were seen and broadcasted at that time. I would see that as an interesting experiment on the part of getting people to talk initially, and then people just say, oh, okay, this is intentional. This is how you want to play this story. I think that a live action of this series would be very feasible and give you the same kind of feels.
But like still as a period piece, so it's still camcorder technology.
Exactly. I mean, the kids are just doing it with camcorder. You see all this kind of other stuff, and again, I think that one of my favorite interactions is when Paula and it's on the bleachers talking to the other dad, and I forgot his name. How pretty Paula at one moment just like, nope, I can hear this coming. You know, dude, I never liked you. Mm-hmm. Let's nip it on the bud. Don't even try.
I forgot to tell you this 2 years ago. I can't stand you.
Yeah.
I should have mentioned this earlier, but it slipped my mind for 2 years. I don't like you. We're not going to hit it off.
Yep, exactly.
Fuck, that was good.
Yeah.
No, I completely agree, because like not to sound like a fucking boomer, but kids these days are like so plugged in. Like, I don't think you can replicate the experience of like literally just making movies in your basement for you and an audience of like 5 other kids.
Yeah. It's
like,
all about the engagement now.
I mean, it would be about. One, it would be about TikTok, which is, fine, whatever. I'm not like shaking my old man fist at TikTok.
Sure.
But it would be about engagement and trends, and but it wouldn't be about like a love of cinema.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
It's just such a different motivation, I think, to make a home movie like that, and versus making something for the engagement, making something for the community, because a lot of stuff that happens on TikTok and on social media in general is, it's memes. It's a lot of people doing the same thing. It's TikTok dances. It's, challenges, or, like put a finger down if, or whatever.
Right, make this a sound, etc.
Right. Duet this. Whereas it was so insular when we were making our home movies as kids, because we weren't really being influenced. The content that we were creating wasn't being influenced by the content that other kids were creating in their home movies.
Right. I never expected anyone outside of my high school friend group to see what we made.
Right. Also, I used to be. I had a friend who used to draw comics about us, and they were really funny and cool. And I feel like without the exposure to what people all over the world are doing, it made it a lot more personal and special. So that's the difference, the main difference to me.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's like video is at the core, but it's like the difference between like I know video is the medium either way, but like it's like if you made something that was about books and tried to make it about newspapers.
Right. Yes, exactly.
Like, it is that's a different, I know it's still the written word, but it's like it's a different motivation or whatever, like than if you tried to take a story that was like about a small time book publisher and tried to make it about the New York Times.
Right.
Like, that's a different, it's like you said, it's different motivations.
And we need to think a lot about why does Brendan makes these movies. I mean, in some ways, it's his playtime. It's the way that he just enjoys the time with his friends. And is he doing this kind of like as training for later trying to become a big leagues director or something like that? Who knows? But there is the part that, especially whenever he's going with each one of the characters, what they are doing and everything. I mean, we haven't even spoken about his cast. His cast also, it's this other kind of micro universe that they are also very, very well fleshed out characters that makes you understand a lot of, okay, I see what am I working with. Of course, the girl, I'm trying to remember, Melissa, it's the one that she knows what kind of roles she will get all the time, but she will do her best on whatever direction and trying to also give her own flavor. I'm trying to remember what's the name of the other kid. Oh my god! But
I got it.
Jason. I mean, Jason. You see that it's mostly he's my buddy. He's the one that maybe doesn't bully me like all the others on the school, and that's the kind of bond that they have. I think that it's a little bit of that kind of closeness that comes to, I mean, at one moment maybe he said, hey, so I have this camera and would you like to make a movie? Everybody like, sure, why not? I mean, that's the kind of stuff. And what you're mentioning, a lot of these media recently, it's mostly to see, okay, how do I become famous or how do I get paid later? That it's a different kind of drive. The drive with Brendan, it's just, let's have fun with my friends and see what happens. And also makes you think a lot that who is kind of taking care of Brendan off hours? It's the TV. And that's where he's getting the example of everything. It's what they say that if you only have watched one type of media, that the best that you can aspire, it's being better than that media in certain ways. So he's just eating all these kind of maybe movies that are on TV available and trying to see what comes from that. And he doesn't only do action movies. He does all kind of stuff that on later episodes are like, oh, okay, you're doing this. Okay.
All of which I imagine are deeply inappropriate for an 8-year-old.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like art about art, and I don't want to sound corny with this, but it's true. But like the Larry Sanders Show.
Oh my God, Ben! Again with the fucking Larry Sanders Show.
I like it.
I know.
No, but like we've covered a number of the Larry Sanders. We've covered 30 Rock. We've covered the third one. Help me out here. The plays.
Yeah. Slings and Arrows.
You know, I like art about creativity.
News radio.
News
radio.
Yeah. That's art that really appeals to me.
Yeah.
And it's cool to see it depicted on a very amateur level outside of business confines.
Yeah.
Sorry for bringing up Gary Shandling again.
I'm kidding. I love you, and I love everything that you do and all of your idiosyncrasies. including but not limited to your love of art that is about art.
Okay, now I feel like I'm getting bullied.
I'm not. What? I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to be nice to you. So, okay. Okay, so I do have an observation that I would love to make about this show.
Sure, what's up?
We made a similar observation about Castlevania when we covered it, which was that for adult animation, for the most part, the reason why it's adult is because it's incredibly crass. But Castlevania, for example, it's not because it's crass, it's because it's incredibly violent. But this show is incredibly unique in that it's not really, at least not by most adult, quote unquote, adult animation standards, crass.
There were only like one or two jokes in this that I thought pushed it a little bit. But
Sure.
Otherwise, this felt like the exact same humor level as like a network sitcom.
Sure, yeah, and that's what I'm saying is I think that what makes this show so interesting from an adult animation perspective is the fact that what makes it adult is the style of humor, but not in a prohibitive way to young people, if that makes sense. It's not because it's too blue for young people or too violent for young people. It's because young people won't get it. It's adult humor.
Right. It's dealing with like, adult topics or topics adults may be familiar with, more like divorce.
Right.
Or whatnot, or kind of viewing childish situations through an adult lens.
Yeah.
Like, I thought, adults, moms aren't supposed to date. No, they're supposed to date a lot, especially when they
Sure.
divorced,
Sure.
all that.
Sure.
But yeah, there's a difference between like adult animation, or rather adult content. But there's two ways to frame that. One is that like it's adult animation or adult content in that it's for adults only, in the sense that it's like super violent or super crass, or there's nudity, or
Right.
Swearing or whatever. Mm-hmm. Or it's adult animation because it's all ages, and therefore it's not limited
To kid animation. Yeah.
or not even limited, like tailored toward a children's audience.
Right.
Like, that, like, I wouldn't suggest covering Looney Tunes this season.
Right, exactly.
But you know what I'm getting at.
Sure.
But like Looney Tunes is broader. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't expect. Sorry, you wouldn't expect 9-year-olds to know to recognize the Humphrey Bogart cameos.
Sure.
In like old Looney Tunes or whatever.
Sure.
That's what makes. Unless you're a weird 9-year-old in 1940, I don't know. Your dad's at war. It's the 40s.
Yeah. Okay.
But like it's broader, or whatever, and that's what makes it quote unquote adult.
Yeah.
Not that I'm suggesting we cover Duck Amuck on this season.
No.
We could though.
I mean, the whole idea of that block of Adult Swim initial releases, I mean, the Bragg show was more about the family dynamic and the absurdity of how the parents are. Harvey Berman, that it's another one of those series that I love. If you think about it, it covers different kind of very clear social issues on each one of those. Each one of the episodes, it's a social case, social legal case that it was very relevant at the time. And I mean, C Lab 2021 was mostly just shooting the shit and just reusing old animation. And every time, just the whole base exploding. That was the kind of the final joke every time. But
right.
with this one, I think that, I mean, it sounds almost like an indie movie aimed to pretty much the teenagers. I think that they saw the writing on the wall that we have been feeding all these kids these cartoons all the time, but what happens when they are just running out of cartoons that are interesting and everything? Okay, let's throw the classic, let's throw shit on the wall, let's see what sticks, and maybe some of those will make it. And I think that they create, home movies feels more like an indie movie about how how a kid is trying to deal with everything else that is happening around him, and it's a very witty kid that sometimes you think, oh, that's not possible, but we saw occasionally we saw those kids that have these comebacks. You're like, man, you're savage. How did you do this?
Right. There's a little I'm gonna regret this phrase. A little je ne sais apatow here. I don't like that. I don't like that I said that.
And I think also a lot about the kind of comedy. I mean, if we see it a little bit, it's this kind of awkwardness about the conversations, but it is not the same awkwardness that you see, let's say, in The Office, that they intentionally just look at you kind of just like, oh, acknowledge that something is weird, something cringy is happening. No, they just go with the bit, continue talking about it, and then you are like, oh my God, you laugh out of the absurdity and the situation that you're thinking, oh my God, I would never survive this, and it keeps going. It's a very, very, very interesting. As I don't know, I feel that a lot of some creators may have watched home movies and then thought, okay, I could see where this could go, and maybe inspire them to make something.
Yeah, there's a lot of the jokes are allowed to end. Like there isn't a laugh track, and there isn't a Jim looking in the camera like flourish to it.
Right.
It's like I like jokes have like real. Again, even though it's all improvised, the jokes have like real punchlines, and some of those punchlines are when it aggressively like cuts away. Like when H. John Benjamin's character is like starting to describe a limerick, and he just goes, "Oh, all right, I'll get it started," and then it just cuts away. But like that there's like funny like. I guess the comedy term is like putting a button on it or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. Like there are funny ways to like end bits that like don't overly draw attention to themselves. The humor feels very naturalistic because it kind of feels like you and your friends just talking.
Yeah.
Assuming your friends are celebrated comedian Paula Poundstone and legendary voice actor H. John Benjamin. In my head, they are.
Mm.
The whole universe that it is created here, it's not something out of the ordinary. That's the thing that I find very appealing. It's very relatable. I think that I read sometimes that whenever you need to sell story, you create it like a cake. And if you create it with too many layers, nobody will be willing to cut through all the layers of the cake. This is a one-layer cake that has some extra feeling in the center, that it is those home movies that later you go in there like, oh my God, that's deeper, and it has different kind of flavors on the whole thing. It's a very surprising kind of project that it's about home movies on the micro universe, but it's about all these other things that it is making these movies happen.
Mm.
Yeah. All the circumstances of his life, the anxieties a kid of this age and this time would have.
For sure.
I just realized he's my age. I just realized if he's 8 in 1999, I was 6 in 99. So
see,
I just realized this kid is meant to be my age.
Let's see. Yeah, I was 17. No, I wasn't. I was 15 in 99.
So something that I read today, it was a manga by an author that I like a lot. He released an initial series called Chainsaw Man that it's as ridiculous as that the idea comes from. So he released a one-shot today that it is about also making movies. And it's, I mean, the thing that he did in this short, it's a short manga, only 200 pages. It's punch after punch emotionally, and then twists that, I mean, and at the same time, he talks a lot about the nature of movies and how they are created and everything. And it all starts with a kid that his mom asked him, hey, so I want you to, I got you a cell phone. I want you to film me because I'm about to die. I have a disease and I'm going to die. That's the whole thing goes. And it goes about the story of how he goes recording, and how emotional the whole thing is for him.
Right.
But then it goes with another twist, like, oh, he decides to make a movie to show to the people at school, and he gets completely panned out of. I mean, everybody makes fun of the whole thing, and then continues and continues. I'll send it to you, but I was doubting if it would be interesting mentioning that, because that's another exploration of how somebody creates from the start, and then every person has a different kind of arc of how we learn from different sources, but at the same time, we end up feeding so much from our environment about what makes I mean, we all come with creativity, and that creativity could be from all the different kind of sources of media or ideas that comes to our mind. And I find that it is a very peculiar thing, how creativity can flourish on different kind of sources.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think that's more than relevant. This might be deviating too far away. However, have you read Creative Quest by Questlove?
Not yet. I know that it comes with a really good playlist that he also made to kind of go with that, but I think that I may read it because I'm into those kind of craft books.
Yeah, it's really good. I listened to it as an audiobook, which he himself narrates.
Oh, even better.
It's a really fun audio experience because he at one point pauses the recording to call up a friend of his to ask how to pronounce his name. Mm-hmm. So that he can a friend of his who's French. So he's like, hold up, and he plays the call as part of the audiobook recording. It's really fun. But he talks a lot about how art creativity is not just art. It's not just making visual or auditory art, that creativity is part of everything we do, and that there are creative problem solvers, there are creative cooks, there are creative designers, there are creative builders, there are people who find creative solutions to everything. And it's important to not just think of it as literally just people making commercial art. That's not the peak of creativity. I don't know, I read that 3 years ago, and ever since I've tried to think more about creativity outside of just purely commercial contexts, where creativity can be an 8-year-old expressing himself through camcorder videos. And also did either of you watch Station 11?
No.
Station 11 the book and Station 11 the TV show both have a main character who has an immense lifelong magnum opus comic book that she makes that she does not want broadly published. Okay. She makes 5 copies of it and she gives them to her friends. But the point is that it's for her.
Right.
And the plot of that book is that eventually that story ends up impacting more people in a way that she couldn't have possibly ever intended, and across generations. But the hook of that story is that there's a pandemic.
Sure.
But the hook of that story is that it's art that was very private and personal to her that ended up helping and healing and hurting so many other people.
Oh, how interesting!
Outside of its initial publication,
right?
But I find that very that's not how I like to create, but I find that very admirable of no, this is truly just for me. I've made 5 professionally produced copies of it, but it's not a commercial work. It's not for anyone but the people I know. This is my art. This is my creativity.
This is just mine. Yeah. Wow.
Read the book Station 11 and watch the TV show Station 11. If you like crying maybe 3 times an hour.
Oh boy.
That's a good way to get the tears going.
Well, I don't dislike it. I certainly watch my fair share of shows that are destined to make me cry. So.
Absolutely. But yeah, read that book especially.
Okay.
I really love the book.
I'll definitely check it out.
I'll check the book because I have heard some other friends that they liked the adaptation. They thought that it was a really great job, and the changes that were made were especially adequate for the media. And okay, another thing to put on my TBR pile.
There you go.
Right. Well, it's a really, really good audiobook. I consume almost everything through audiobooks because I'm visually impaired. But anyway, really good audiobook. Yeah, I don't know. I liked home videos quite a lot. I found it very charming. You know, might throw it on in a pass the time kind of way.
Sure.
Excited to see more of the kind of like you hinted at, like the more of the macro conflict of like, it's a kid coping with his life, stuff.
Yeah.
And I honestly haven't researched a lot about how Brendan Smalls, the author, the creator of the series, if there are some autobiographical elements in there, or if he was just kind of patching of things around. I would like to maybe just kind of, if he did one of those articles that they did at one moment in Pace Magazine, Brendan Smalls revisits all the different kind of things that he has done and saying, okay, where did this came from? What's the thing that you're most proud about this series and all that kind of stuff?
Mm.
Yeah, that would be fun to see if we can find.
But I mean, what we were mentioning, creativity. It's possible that, like those tapes that you at one moment decided to say, "Hey, Dad, don't save them, throw them away."
Mm.
That was initially made as an an exercise of community with the people that you liked.
Mm.
Right.
I remember somebody wrote to me, I think maybe 3 or 4 years ago. So during my goth phase, I also got with some friends that also we made home movies. And because every one of them were watching scary movies, we decided to make scary movies.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And it was that kind of ridiculousness that we enjoy so much, just trying to think, and it was after, I think, Scream had come out and that kind of stuff. So with me, I don't know, scary movies, so many times the things that I watch from Hollywood, they follow the same kind of beats and everything, that I am just counting the moment when they are having the scare and everything, and I end up just laughing about them. Why? Because I just see them like, well, there it is. That's again that kind of thing. And whenever I see some movies that really moved from those twists, those are the ones that I'm like, oh, you did that. Oh, you actually did that. And make me think a lot about that kind of, those old efforts, that it's an effort to communicate with the other people on the same language that everybody share. In my case, it was those old scary movies. Mm-hmm. And how we try to think, okay, can we make something that could be seen scary by us? How can we scare each other? It was almost like a challenge, that how can we make this? And then share with some people. Sometimes we had we did okay-ish. Some other times it was just kind of corny. But I mean, whenever we create, we find our communities of people that we gravitate towards each other, and then we start just collaborating in a way that we both feel, or everybody that's in that gets strongly about it. And that's how you start. I mean, how you start sometimes writing, sometimes podcasts, theater groups, improv groups, whatever. But I think that initial connection that you have in some way to others, that's the one that gets the ball rolling. And I think that that's the part that I love about that group of friends that he has there, and how at the moment also the parents or some other people getting added to the whole cast, because it's very touching that they say, oh, this is something that makes Brandon happy, let's helping on that.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, have we any other observations?
I mean, I won't talk about it for too long, but I just realized that's tabletop for me. That obviously I make a tabletop show, science.
Yeah.
But I just realized, like, oh, that's like the perfect distillation of I'm being creative for exactly 4 other people.
Oh yeah.
Like it's the people. it's the people at my table. It's the people who are participating in the story with me. Like, that's the definition of I am not making commercial art. I'm making a fun little improv theater show with that happens to have character sheets and dice for exactly 4 people.
Right.
Anyway, hey, talking about the animation real quick. I love how all the characters kind of look like they're just wearing onesies.
Yeah. I also appreciate the absolute minimal amount of effort that went into trying to give them a wardrobe of any type.
Yeah, like there's only 2 characters that have like definition to their wardrobes, and like if you're only like kind of half looking, or if you have to squint or whatever, you can only then see that like there's actually lines on like Brendan and the other kids clothing for their like shirts and whatnot. I don't know, I thought that was a cute choice. I like the way it's animated. I like it felt engaging. The humor felt really engaging.
Yeah.
First couple of minutes I was like, oh, what is this? But like very quickly it won me over.
Yeah. Oh, I liked it right from the beginning. I thought it's very bizarre, but and unlike anything I'd seen before, but loved it. So
anything else, or do we want to talk about favorite jokes?
Sure, let's get to it.
Okay.
Let's start with our esteemed, very sexy, very smelling good, amazing guest that we have on today. What was your favorite joke?
Oh, man. As a joke itself, I would say the interaction with Brandon and the coach when he comes to pick up his mom, and that whole conversation. I mean, it's just quip after quip, one each other. Just the part when you see just the simple frame of carrying Brandon, and then when they start kind of going at it like, oh, I'm gonna make your life hell, and then the mom arrives and, hey Paula, how are you, and everything. I mean, it's a classic bit in comedy, but immediately,
of course,
you see that usually between the 2 adult protagonists that need to keep a nice face to the romantic interest. In this case, it is just okay. They just going at it. Just I can torpedo your all your possibilities tonight, coach. So don't try me. And the other one, I'm gonna make your life terrible at school. So let's talk about how we can make this happen. And in the end, I mean, I think that along the series and everything, you see how their relationship evolves. Besides the part of, I mean, they become kind of like each other's best friend. And that's the part, that how it starts. It's this kind of, okay, we initially are at odds with each other, but we have been so vulnerable with each other, mostly showing ourselves very bare, that this is a start. This is how you want sometimes see this kind of characters developing just out of this kind of interaction. So to me, that's one of my favorite. I feel that's the one of the best parts on the whole thing.
Yeah, it's a good one for sure. Ben, what do you got?
The bit where Brendan visits Coach McGurk in his office.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And he is they just, they threw me down here. I've started to redecorate.
Yeah.
And the entire conversation has been largely in close-ups and mid-shots of the 2 of them separately. And then at one point, while still in a mid-shot, Brendan says, "Lot of mirrors in here." It then cuts back to a wide shot of the whole room.
Right.
The first time we've seen the whole room. And the place is covered in mirrors. And then H. John Benjamin absolutely sells, feng shui.
Yes! I absolutely love that.
Obliterate. Like, it's so funny that we just truly don't see the room in full in that moment.
Yeah.
And there are genuinely like 12 mirrors
and then
in there.
you think about the fact that, like, I didn't even think about what it might look like. I was so, into what was going on. That's a very sophisticated joke, I think, and I liked it a lot. I think...
And just, he fucking no-sells.
I think...
Feng shui.
I think that might be my favorite, too, to be completely honest with you. I had originally written down the line where Coach McGurk says, I've got trademark products all over my body because I was drunk one night. Don't live like me. I thought that line made me laugh so hard. But I think I might have to Ben's is pretty good, too. So, yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, the whole thing that he keeps getting tattoos every time that he gets drunk. I mean,
Right.
it should give you an idea that, okay, dude, you need to stop. Either you try to not have money on you whenever you get drunk, because you will end up with another ridiculous tattoo that, I don't know, whenever you will
Yeah.
go out on a pool or something like that, you will look like a NASCAR car.
Right.
Yeah.
I also really liked when Brendan is talking to Eric, the Melissa's dad, and says something like, you know, Coach McGurk, you know when you drop us off and there's this like Irish bastard there, and Eric starts to say like, I don't think that's very appropriate, and then just cuts off and goes, yeah. I don't think it's really appropriate. Yes.
Yeah.
Just immediately just tries to like agree with his 8-year-old.
Yeah.
Hey, you shouldn't call another adult an Irish bastard. Yeah, I know the guy.
Yeah.
I thought that was great.
Same.
Oh, the other bit that I just love, it's when the coach is calling on the phone to speak with Paula to say, hey, so I have been seeing things around, and do you want to do this? And then Brandon is still on the phone all the time. And the coach not reading the room at all, that this was not the day that you thought. You both have completely different experiences. So
Yeah.
don't keep suggesting that, oh, let's go on a cruise. Oh, there is this other thing that we could do and everything.
Yeah, let me know when I should hang up.
Right.
Folks, I think that covers it for home movies.
Indeed.
I went that entire time without saying the title of the show that I thought it was, which is Home Videos.
It could be. It could have been.
Wow, Ben.
Yeah, well, I know. I was like, don't fucking say it, you idiot. That's not the name of the show.
You texted it a couple of times.
I bet I did.
You did. You did.
But I tried really hard to get it right.
Well,
and folks, if I got it wrong, don't tell me.
I'm really
Let
proud
me
of
live
you.
in this fantasy.
We're very
I'm
proud
really
of you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for being on the show. We greatly appreciate it. You're a phenomenal guest.
thank you.
Do you want to tell us where we can find you?
So
If you want to be found.
So mostly I'm either on Instagram or on Twitter under the handle @Mexicanity, and mostly it's me putting my Mexican spin on things. It could be from food to different kind of causes and things like that. So that would be the best place to find me. I occasionally do audio recordings, narrations for short stories, or publishing articles here and there. So that's where you can find anything that I at the moment, whenever I get creative.
Hell yeah. Folks, my name is Ben Hamlin. You can find me online at Ben C. Hamlin. That is BenChamlin. It's my full name. You can check out Parascience, an exploration of the supernatural and unquantifiable. That is a show I make for more than 4 people, and maybe I make for you. Please listen to us. Thank you. Also, I stream on twitch.tv/Infinity Break Gaming every Tuesday and every Friday.
Indeed.
Check out Leslie, where can people find you?
Oh, people can find me at the usual spot at Vanetti on Twitter, where I talk about this show, other shows, some shows, good shows, bad shows, and things that aren't shows.
A specific show recently.
We'll get into that a little later, Ben. We got a date for that.
And it's in about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Folks, check out InfinityBreak.net, where we're telling stories our own way. That's where you can find all of our podcasts over there at InfinityBreak.net, including our sibling show, Sneeple at the Movies, a queer movie podcast in which our hosts Ezra, Helena, and Maddie Trumbo Gomes, who's the only one who gets a full name, I guess, talk about the movies that they enjoy. I know they just released their Helena Awards, which are their equivalent, their better and more considered version of the Oscars.
Indeed.
Those episodes are always a blast to listen to if you like listening to people being very, very passionate about movies and how the Academy is wrong. Anyway, yeah, you can check out all of our work there. Specifically, if you want to support the show directly, please do spread the word. Tell your friends. You can follow us online at InfinityBreak23, as well as by going to the Twitter account at SyndicatedWLAB. That's where we can be found on Twitter. And patreon.com/InfinityBreak for as little as $1 a month. You can support the show directly, including you'll get things that were cut from previous episodes. I know for a fact there's some bonus material from Archer that I'll be posting on there shortly. But in addition to that, Leslie and I sometimes record full episodes at the $5 tier for people who want an extra, say, hour of Leslie and I chattering about a number of things, including in the past, the Marvel TV shows and The Sopranos.
And Righteous Gemstones.
And Righteous Gemstones, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, we are about to go record an Our Flag Means Death special.
It's about to happen.
Which will be available at the $5 tier.
Yep.
So yeah, if you want to support the show directly, truly word of mouth is a wonderful way to go. You can follow our Twitter and, of course, patreon.com/InfinityBreak. We really do appreciate that. Speaking of which, I believe that is the end of this very show. Once again, thank you so much for joining us, Hector. We really appreciate it.
Thank
Thank you for having me over.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, no, I hope to have you back.
Absolute blast. Thank you so much.
Harvey Birdman.
Maybe we'll think about it.
Fuck, maybe it's a bonus episode.
Might be. Could be.
Because obviously I was not age appropriate for it at the time, so I'm like, I know so little about like 2001 to 2004 like Adult Swim.
Yeah.
What Aqua Teen Hunger Force is, quote unquote, still I really don't have a grasp on what that is.
Wow, what a generational gap. All right, we got to wrap this
I've
up.
never watched it. Anyway, folks, that's the show. This is Syndicated with Leslie and Ben. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time for another episode.
See you. Bye.
Bye-bye.